Alright, everybody, here's the thing. I'm gonna let Izu step on me, but the issue is that she's made out of metal, so it would probably kill me. And now that I say that out loud, that sounds like an even better idea. Welcome to the Hubcast.
Yeah, here we go, right here.
God, Kaz, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, there you go, folks. Yeah. Now you know who Kaz wants to fuck.
The answer is Izu.
The answer is everybody.
The answer is everybody.
Answer.
Let's be real. So
the answer is everybody.
All right,
There we go. All right,
I don't know what
better.
Yeah,
welcome to the podcast,
Yay.
everyone. We're here. We did it. We're back.
Woo. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Choo choo, motherfucker.
Welcome to Kaz and Digi. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful ride through the countryside.
Hello.
Mount Fuji is beautiful as always.
It's true.
The crying weebs on the ground. It's all beautiful as always.
Well, you know, weebs are crying right now on Twitter, so...
Yeah,
I'm crying all the time. Yeah. Oh, I'm Kaz. This is my voice. Hello.
That's Kaz. He's a loser. We don't talk about that.
the one who wants to be,
Sorry.
The one who wants to get stepped on by Izu.
Sorry.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough, though.
If anyone is wondering where Will and Memes are, Memes is choosing to watch other things, and Will is very sick.
Kaz is trying to steal me off as a best friend. We said
It's
no,
true.
and now we recruited him for the podcast.
Well, we needed his sexy voice, so...
Fair enough.
Hello, everybody. I'm also sick, but I actually showed up.
But...
Oof. Poor Will.
Alright. Well, again...
And I'm Digi. I take screenshots of stupid things that people say.
He is our local scribe.
Half that folder is full of the Disney brain.
Yep.
So... again, welcome.
Yes.
As always, this is Hubcast with us, the Rider Hub. AKA, probably not the best podcast you'll ever listen to, but a damn mediocre one at best.
We're better than that podcast called Tokusatsu Girlfriend, that'll tell you that much.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Oh fuck!
Probably don't start.
Shots are being fired.
Already throwing shade at Squall.
Nervousness.
I always throw shade at Squall.
No, we love you,
Squall
Squall.
are beautiful.
We
They're
love you,
great.
Squall and Lord. We really
so-
appreciate you.
I guess before we get to 0-1, I did want to say on Twitter about that we'll mention the Master Rider Astro. The thing that was up for like 5 hours.
Hold on,
Oh, boy.
hold on.
Ended in 5.
Hold on. Toku Geek, thank you for the subscription. Welcome aboard.
Hello.
Yeah, so that whole thing, basically a guy who no one knows in the community appeared randomly and said, I am planning a Forza adaptation, and I'm just gonna march right up to Toei and give it to them, and I'm gonna film the first 2 episodes first.
And we're gonna make Gentaro a black stereotype.
That, and basically everyone else stereotypes.
Oh well.
Yeah.
So I don't want to touch on that. I don't want to get too hung up on that. I just wanted to say this was my stance on Twitter. It's also still my stance that as a fanfic writer, you want to make an adaptation, that's fine. You can write to your heart's content. You want to do this, that. I mean, I literally have a Lupat adaptation, and I made Lupin Blue a big burly black man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's fine. You can do whatever you want.
I think the best way to do
Lupin Red
it is write what you want,
Lupin Red is good.
but the moment you start asking for money is where you can get sued up the ass, essentially.
The moment you start asking for money or ask,
and
like,
knowing
like
Toei,
I'm gonna go to
Toei,
Toei.
to do it.
Yeah. Toei.
Crosses a line.
Do you even... I guarantee you, this guy's new to the Kamen Rider community because anyone who's been in this community for more than a month knows that Toei is not very willing to give away their IPs to people.
No, I can recommend.
Just look at the lengths people will go to prevent Toei from flagging their videos.
It's true.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say,
and you're gonna go to them and ask, hey, can I, an absolute nobody, make an adaptation of one of your shows?
For not that much money.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make an adaptation, choose something that they don't touch anymore, and just make your own shit, because they'd probably be more willing to do that. Like a Metal Hero show, be like, can you just give us the costumes you had for those movies, and we'll make our own show? That'd be cool.
That's all I'm willing to say on the subject. I don't want to be...
Yeah. If anyone wants a very good video that someone made about the whole debacle, go see The Next Decade on Twitter. He made a very good video about it.
Highly recommend his video.
Shout out to him, and stay tuned when I go to Toei tomorrow to talk about adapting Mythos.
We love you, Dustin. Alright. Shall we get into 010101?
010101.
Thank you.
Let's do this.
First off, let me just say, banger of an opening.
It's such a good opening.
Realize it's so good. Okay, wait.
I really can't wait for the full
I tweeted this out a while back, and I just want to say it again. I'm a media studies student, so hearing the line, data is the past and words are just signs, is the most media studies ass bullshit I've ever heard in anything, and I was so happy.
So I kind of want to back up and try to do this a little in order, of course. So
that's fair. I just wanted to comment on the opening.
First off, there are spoilers. I'm not gonna brush on that. You know what this title is, the video, all of it. Be warned. Last week we talked about Geo. We're done with that.
Thankfully.
I don't want to jump ahead to when 01 was first being introduced and revealed, and we all got our first glimpse of the first Reiwa era rider.
With that first,
So we're gonna be talking about the rumors that were going around.
I'll that too, but the very first moment we were introduced to 01, I will
the scans.
And I'm talking about the
press conference.
Because I do have one thing to say on the press conference, and that is, as soon as I heard Authorize, I was hooked.
Yes.
I can say the scans.
Yeah.
The scans, I liked them. I still think, I didn't like the shot riser, because that literally is just a gun on your belt, and I question why not just make it a standard
I will say
gun.
this.
D-end, it works for D-end,
because it doesn't mount.
Yeah.
Because, Kong can't hold that.
Maybe if it was a bit bulkier, maybe if there was...
underneath the fist.
Yeah, but
maybe really stupid. Maybe make the belt a bit bulkier. Have some kind of holster shape that the shot riser goes into.
Yeah.
I would agree. I can say, though, I don't remember much from the press conference, because I don't think I've ever said this, but the night of the press conference was the night that Kiseki technically ended, the night it all went to shit. So I was mostly focusing on that, because I was in VC with everyone, but I was so I didn't talk about that much. I know Brain was there, I think Cameron was there.
Toku Geek would like to know where Kasuma is. He's right here. Can't
Hello.
you see him?
Where? What do you mean? Where am I?
He's right here. We found him.
We found him in a dumpster outside.
So
no,
I can say I remember how cool the intro was, because you just heard the henshin noise and 01 just burst in.
Yeah.
Didn't even stop. He jumped into the conference and had the fight, which I thought was so cool, because I don't remember the Geo conference that much, but I think he kind of just appeared on stage.
I remember
but the fact
seeing the suit in action and thinking that's gonna take some getting used to. And I think
is
now
what I
that
love,
we've
though, that line.
had as long as we have had to get used to it, it's such a good suit.
My only real complaint with it is how the yellow appears in
Fair enough.
outdoor lighting.
Oh well.
Yeah, the colors
I'm
were
not a
weird
fan
at
of
first,
the-
but I think they've slowly grown on me. Even at first I really hated how the additions, like the shark and the falcon, kept the yellow on the sides. I thought
I
it would
like it.
fully replace it, but now that I see it in action, like, it doesn't bother me nearly that as much.
Yeah.
I actually really like how it looks with biting shark, because I've said this multiple times, I'll say it again. The blue and yellow kind of reminds me of, like, a scuba diver, sort of.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I think Biting Shark so far is my favorite.
I was
Form,
not
'cause
one
I'm not
for the jingle,
that
but I like the form.
Big on the yellow.
I love how the different parts of the Hopper suit are incorporated.
I
Yeah.
do
Like,
really
you
like
have-
the shuffling around of the Hopper suit in order to
Yeah.
Agreed.
provide room for the new stuff.
I really like the belts.
The
If I
belt
had
is
enough,
so
if
good.
I had
Oh,
enough
yeah.
money
I know.
and space on my wall, I would probably buy the belt.
Super
The belt
slick.
is so cool.
I think
I
I could
love
live
it.
without the thing that's been memed to death of a jump to the sky turns into a rider kick.
No, I love it.
I think
Yeah,
I could do
I can live
without it,
without
but
that.
it's
It
fine.
gets quieter and quieter as they reuse ones, which is nice,
Yeah.
but, like, the new ones are always, like, right front and center, which is always funny.
I think my favorite though is so far the soar to the sky and prepare for a force.
Spread
like
your
the
wings.
sky.
Spread your
Yes.
wings and prepare
Yeah.
for
I am
horse.
as someone just said, Flaming Tiger. I am very excited.
I'm
for
so
Flaming
excited
Tiger.
for Flaming
Next
Tiger.
week
From
was
the
Flaming
second I
Tiger
saw
looks
Flaming
so
Tiger, the second Flaming Tiger scans, not the initial ones, the second one, where we actually got, like, a full body look at it, I knew when I saw that scan, this is gonna be my favorite 01 form.
I hope the jingle is good. I'm really hoping so. Because
Hold on,
if
I'm
the
gonna go
jingle is good, then
see
god
what the
damn it, I'm
jingle is.
gonna be getting that key.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't blame you.
I just love the look of it.
What
The
is it?
yellow and the red go together really well, and the tiger parts just look awesome.
But
I kind of like this. Gigant Flare, Flaming Tiger, explosive power
of 100 bombs.
I love that.
So
Actually,
cool.
I low key love
Yes.
Okay.
that. So no,
Let's-
like beginning from the conference, I low key loved how 01 just burst in. You saw the suit in action.
Yeah.
Before they revealed anything else, it was so cool.
Yeah.
I remember the trailer was really
I loved the
interesting.
reveal. The trailer was really interesting. I loved the reveal of Aruto. He looked cool. I liked his day-to-day outfit. It kind of reminded me of Mega Red from Mega Ranger. I think someone even said he stole the out style. It looked very
Like, just
It looks
seeing
very
the
casual.
suit on top of that casual hoodie.
I remember.
that's what it gives me vibes of, a very casual CEO.
And the
Like the younger
constant so
CEOs
far.
that you see now.
Like, his outfit's changed a bit, but so far, what's been a constant is his shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Those fluorescent yellow Adidas, or whatever, I don't know.
That mix of
remember-
casual... Oh, go ahead.
They look like Adidas.
I remember people freaking out about Valkyrie. And just her very
Because
existence.
she was the first female rider to be revealed this early on, before the show even
it's the
debuted.
first female tertiary.
It's because she's the actual main character.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'd be
and
down
people
for
are
that.
like, "Oh, she's gonna break the curse." I'm like,
And then the other,
she
half
might.
the fandom is saying she might break the curse, and the other half of the fandom saying she's gonna die in 12 episodes.
Yeah.
No. Okay, here's the thing. Well, I guess I'll bring it up more in the theory crafting part, but, like,
Yeah.
she is clearly the smartest one, and I think the one who will kind of run everything from, like, the background.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think that she is gonna be more the main character than.
You know what I think would be really interesting?
If this is X-Aid's writer, so
Isamu
I would
died?
not be surprised.
What if Isamu died? And that would explain the sort of fusion form that 01 has, because we saw this form in the scans that was sort of a
then nothing of value would be
fusion
lost.
of Vulcans and 01's super forms.
I'm kidding though. I love Vulcan.
Man, if this
I'm
is
just
written by
saying,
the same
it would
people who
be
did
interesting if Isamu died, and then we'd see the sort of impact that would have on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the thing, because like the first 4 episodes, obviously we're seeing her. I don't want to say tsundere, because obviously Vulcan's a tsundere, but she's very much someone who is in charge, and she kind of doesn't like him. Like,
Yeah.
She
not
doesn't
really
take
taking
crap
her
from
orders.
anyone,
She's
really.
really cold and
Yeah.
calculating,
Yeah.
And
which
But
is
she
I
has
do
hot.
love that
softer
because I
side.
think Izumu is used to probably just intimidating everyone who didn't listen to him and getting his way.
Yeah.
So the fact that someone who
Shoot.
isn't taking his shit, and then
Yeah,
also
shoot
there's
first,
also-
ask questions
I think
later.
there's also Fua, who's also used to probably everyone listening to her orders.
Yeah.
So it's very much a two-clash of someone who's used to being the leader and someone who's just used to intimidating everyone enough that they won't question him.
What I
Isamu
was-
and you are decent foils for each other from what
I
little
agree.
we've seen of.
And then also Isamu is a good foil for Aruto.
Yeah.
So, but before we try to get back on track here, man, if this is written by the same people as X8, I can't wait for Christmas.
That's 12 episodes away.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I mean,
See
if
the same
someone
fucking
dies, they're
reindeer
probably going to be
costume
brought
in
back.
every season.
Because, again, X8 writer.
Oh my
Merry
god.
Christmas!
Can you imagine Izu just doing the fucking Poppy?
Oh
Jingle
god,
Bells
that would
thing?
be precious.
But,
I would actually like it more than when Poppy did it.
yes, that
Although
would
to be
precious.
fair, I actually I
Okay.
don't like X8. I'm a known not liker of X8. I did love that.
I like
did love
X8.
that scene.
okay. Hey, let's go to episode 1, the debut of the series. Right off the
Extremely strong.
bat. Right off the bat.
It starts out really strong.
I love the fact that it started off with essentially a quote-unquote commercial for Heathen Intelligence with the original...
It really immerses you into the setting.
the original president talking about the Humagear and
And
what
it's a
impact they've had. And then it goes to, hey,
seamless
he's
cut
dead.
to he's dead. To a
Yeah.
new story.
And you see the
Which is
vice
being
president like
the news is even being broadcast by a Humagear,
Yeah.
which is like they're really taking stuff over.
I think...
It reminds me of an episode of the recent series of Doctor Who.
yeah.
It was named Kerblam. Basically, it revolved around Kerblam, which was basically the far future version of Amazon.
Yeah.
And all their workers were these sort of AI sort of constructs. They were extremely similar to the Humagears.
So is he done Amazon then?
I
Yeah.
Is
don't
Heathen
know.
Amazon?
I can say the one thing I would like to see from episode 1, because like the Humagears don't mention it. I would love to see their opinions on like EO and everything and like their creators. I don't think they can really have the capacity to talk about it, but I
One
would
thing
like
that
to
I really
see-
did like about the Humagears in episode 1, the nightmare feel and the body horror.
they are, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watching
Just watching their
shuddering
face
forms.
deform as they get hacked.
And then
Yeah.
It's an amazing
It's also kind of sad because like you see the guy, the six-pack guy who was actually kind of funny, trying to like fight it.
I don't think
and,
I've
like,
ever been that intimidated by a grunt.
Yeah.
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 Also, Jin's
they're
just
really disturbing.
Jin is
There's-
amazing.
sick pleasure
Yeah.
of just being like, "You're gonna be my friend now." Just is like,
He's hot.
And
I
then
don't want to say
straight up
writhing in
shooting a
pain
robot.
because I don't think the Humagears feel pain, but like the struggling to try to like hack it, and Jin just being like, "You're gonna be my friend, destroy humanity."
Jin's amazing. He really just pulls off that psychotic attitude.
I think he pulls it off, but I think he's what they wanted Parado to be.
Yeah,
and I think he pulls it off better.
Yeah,
because Parado never actively went out and like infected people and everything.
He's the personality of Parado and the hamminess of Waz,
or the hamminess of Dan Kuroto. Like it's too.
Another thing,
and I enjoyed all three of those characters.
Yeah,
and then also we get, of course, introduced to our main boy Aruto. I like him enough. The comedy, I think, is also supposed to not be funny, but
only thing
he delivers it in a way that makes it funny. I hate dad jokes. I hate them so much.
I'm not a fan of the close-ups.
The way he delivers them, his body language, the over-the-top voice, it just makes me laugh.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of like the close-ups that like, but this is also the same guy who did X-Aid. I don't want to keep like bringing X-Aid comparisons, but it is.
It's really ugly every time.
That's the only thing I'm not a fan of because they keep doing them.
The thing I don't like about Aruto is his surprise face, and I'm glad they're trying to phase that out from the first episode.
I like that he doesn't have
Aruto in general is a very wholesome boy.
Yeah.
I love that his motivation for becoming a writer is simply to provide laughter and smiles to people. It very much reminds me of early Heisei protagonists like Yusuke from Kuga.
It reminds me of Kuga. That was his goal.
That was his goal. Everyone making people smile.
But I mean, we'll get into it into the theory crafting section, but I believe there is a reason for that, and if you've watched Squall Charleston's latest video, you'll know what it is because I wrote it. And I think his reasoning is not what we think it's going to be, and I'm excited for that. Or his reasoning is fine, but why he's doing it is not necessarily.
I'll wait and see what happens.
I think, but no, because then the next art.
There are a few things I want to address because we're getting like close to the half-hour point, and we haven't gotten through episode 1 yet.
I'm just trying to go on that.
I want to at least cover a few last things myself, just because I think they're important. I love that the driver is 3D printed almost in response to
the
like
issues
going on.
Yeah, the CGI in that scene was really good.
Because before the series, I had been like wondering because when it's supposed to be used by Hidan CEO, it had me wondering like, is there a previous 01? Was the Grandpa 01? But right now it seems like there might be a proto 01. But right now it seems like the driver was very much made for Aruto.
I'm gonna just say it, Aruto is a robot.
Secondly,
I don't think so because and here's why. Here's my main reason why. It is explicitly stated in the show when he equips the 01 driver that he obtains this enhanced processing speed in his brain. If he were a robot, wouldn't he have that all the time?
Not if they want us to seem like he's a human. It just boosts the rest of his programming.
It's still something I find weird. I honestly don't think Aruto's a robot.
To go on with the increased intelligence, I like that he has to take a tutorial in.
Would you like to run the tutorial program?
I do appreciate the fact that they did give that explanation of how he's able to like fight and everything already, and like
as someone who's just started getting into like Red vs. Blue, which has a running gag of tutorial programs, I found that really funny.
Number 3 that I want to hit on is I love that right out of the gate we are told we've destroyed this city that we now live in. This has happened before, and there's a mystery surrounding Daybreak Town. I do like that we have that mystery.
Besides Daybreak Town also being the name of something in Kingdom Hearts, I do like that. I I actually like Hirobi so far. I like how he's kind of just the guy in the chair, and he seems so menacing. Even
it makes it seem like we're
going
not
outside.
We don't know what he's capable of.
Yeah.
We haven't, and like I won't get to episode 4 yet, but we saw a little hint of that, and I do like the fact that he like. Jin, as crazy as he is, listens to Hirobi, so you know there's a menacing factor there.
Yeah. You know Jin sees something in Hirobi.
Yeah.
That we aren't being shown yet.
And I know by actors...
It adds this mysterious aura to Hirobi.
The last thing I want to say about episode 1 is the fight is brilliant.
I love it. I love the camera work.
I love the fighting.
I like it all. I like the rider kick. I am a little disappointed that when it ended that comedy in by having him like trip, because that kind of takes it out of the fight. But
the other thing
like him being hit by the Kaban slash or whatever it was.
The other last thing with the fight is I'm starting to really love the fact that we get the katakana of the attack. I really like that.
I did like that. That was a nice effect.
It's
for some really cool wallpapers.
And then this was mainly an Naruto introduction episode. Izu was kind of just, she's presented very much straightforward as the secretary.
Yeah.
She's there to assist him. The vice president is there to kind of be. I don't think he's outright evil yet. I think he's just very much.
I really don't want him to be evil. I want him to grow to help Naruto.
No, I don't want him to help
as
Naruto,
like the
but I want
teacher
him
from
to be-
Forze.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I can
I
see
very
that.
much see it as he could be an antagonist at first, but eventually figuring
He
out
even
what's going
looks
on.
like Osugi a little
I think
bit.
he could eventually assist and maybe teach Naruto how to be a CEO. Maybe teach him the business side.
I really want him to be like Osugi. I'll be honest, I love Osugi from Force.
Maybe let Kaz talk.
Thank you. Okay, here's the thing. I don't want him to be. I love Osugi, but I don't want him to be like evil, but I want him to be a constant foil of like, this is just a ladder climbing like dick who's just constantly on Naruto's ass about everything and is working against him, not in the sense of like sending monsters out into the world, but working against him in like, as we'll say in episode 4, like just refusing to tell him certain things about the company's past because it's like, we cannot talk about this or else we will go out of business.
I do like the relationship they have so far. I hope it doesn't change too drastically. Like, if he gets more friendly with Naruto, I'll be okay with that. But if he becomes a villain, no.
I wouldn't be fine if this is kind of just how he stays. But again, I also wouldn't be a problem with if he eventually finds out about the 0-1 thing and he kind of starts mentoring.
Well, he knows about 0-1.
Yes.
Does he?
I just don't want him to become a villain.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind if he starts kind of mentoring Naruto in the business side of things, and maybe we see Vulcan mentoring Naruto in the fighting side of things.
So.
Like,
one last thing about the fight scene, the shot where the camera follows 0-1 as he backflips to dodge the blades that the Magia throws at him.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful shot. And then he lands and does the pose and the explosion behind him.
Yep. Alright, we need to quickly cover 2.
Well, episode 2, it's very standard. Naruto's still learning about to be a CEO. We get Vulcan's.
I love that he struggles to open the keys. I love that.
I do love that.
I like that he still does it. I thought it was just going to be for that episode, but no, he still does it.
Here's the thing. Somebody pointed out on Twitter, I don't remember who, but like, somebody was like, oh, it's getting tiring that he's always struggling to open the key. Like, why wouldn't he have access to the punching Kong key when she handed it to him? And it's like, no, it's not that he doesn't have access, it's that he's not doing it right. Like, you see her do it. You're supposed to put it. You're supposed to put it into the shot riser, then open it.
I mean, this is coming from the guy who punched the bullet, so...
Someone is going to eventually correct him, and it's going to be
Okay.
The key has to be authorized first, just so you all know.
I am putting
For
Cannon
chat.
on blast. He does not think that that punching the bullet is cool, and he is wrong.
Okay, that's fine. I
Absolutely
just
wrong
don't
about
find
that.
it cool.
Because, and then he like backhands it later
The
on,
punching
but it's
Kong
so
one was
goddamn
cool.
cool.
The backhand one was cool. I will admit that one.
They're both cool.
I think it's cute.
So we got his origin. I think you can kind of get a hint that he probably has PTSD concerning robots. So it kind of reminds me of iRobot with Will Smith's character.
A lot of nice scenes with Izu in this episode.
Yeah, he doesn't trust the Humagears because he's seen them at the worst.
Yeah.
And so he refuses to see them at their best.
He knows that they have this flaw.
Something
which
I
nobody
didn't
else in the
notice
plot really knows.
when I was initially
I
watching
think
the episode.
the racism, or not just racism, just like using two-step, they could be used for good. I think it's valid. I like it.
Yeah.
And you get to see
a very fun thing for him.
My favorite part of episode 2 is the getting to see the dichotomy of watching the flashback with Aruto when he's about to transform, and watching it with Fuwa as he's about to do it, and hearing their words, like Aruto's like, no, there's good in them, a Humagear saved me, and Fuwa's saying, there is zero good in them, I have to destroy them all because they are nothing but a threat to humanity.
Yeah.
And you really get a feel for what both of them are trying to do.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong scene.
They both of their goals come from one shared day, which I think is going to come back for. I think the only
I like that idea.
Wasn't involved in daybreaking and it shaping their ideas was probably Valkyrie, but I think both Hirobi and Jin also probably had their personalities shaped by.
And I think
Daybreak.
over time, when more about Daybreak gets revealed, their views on the Humagears and that day in general are going to drastically shift.
I wouldn't be surprised if in a future episode they introduce like maybe a Humagear partner for Isamu, and he starts warming up to them slowly by that, and then he gets angry because Jin or Hirobi kills that partner. I wouldn't be shocked if they do that. Like a Humagear, he can like as a way to speak to him. I feel like it would have to be like a police Humagear or something to make him accept them.
Here's another thing, though.
Just real quick, I want to address this. Toku Geek says it's going to take lots of time for 01 to surpass build.
I don't think anything will surpass build.
I would say it's getting there.
It's getting there. It's got some.
Where it got a strong start. It just depends on if it can carry that all the way.
Where
I don't think it's
01 is
surpass build.
No.
Where 01 is right now, I'd compare it with O's.
Yeah.
The most.
I think
Simple
it's very
but
much an O's
plot and a lot of really good characters.
Yeah, we just have to hope it continues this. Anything else to say about episode 2?
Episode 2?
Yes.
No, I think it's
I have one last thing. This kind
I
of
love how Naruto doesn't try to hide it from the people. He's like, oh yeah, there's a terrorist group. Here's their name. Here's some footage of them hacking a Humagear. There you go.
But here's the other thing. Is when he presents the fact that there's a terrorist group, he doesn't acknowledge the fact that what they're doing is taking advantage of a flaw that he didn't put into the Humagear. That because then they would have to pull back all of the Humagear and lose a whole lot of money.
Well, yeah, he's still a CEO. He's got to protect the company.
Yeah, but the other thing is, if Aruto's flashback is also supposed to be Daybreak, we know that explosion was like big enough to destroy the city, but in Aruto's flashback, it's barely big enough to hurt him and his quote-unquote father, and they are standing outside of the building.
Yeah. There's definitely more to it.
I'm excited to see what else gets brought out about Daybreak.
I do have one theory, but I'll bring it up when we're theory.
If we get to
Theory,
it. Yeah.
theory cutting. Episode 3.
Lots of good
once
easy
again,
moments.
I think that's a little bit the first filler episodes besides introducing Valkyrie and a new form. I think that's one of those standard.
Yeah.
Gotta introduce the toy. Not much.
I really like this episode. Actually,
I do like the story of the sushi maker and the Humagear.
The thing I like from this episode was, I don't remember who pointed it out, but the fact that Hidden Intelligence can make keys that are essentially a one-off use to beat a specific enemy due to Izu communicating with the satellite and uploading battle data, I think that makes complete sense as a big company.
Well,
wait, so the key was a one-off use?
That's what people were saying, but I'm more than certain that they're gonna come back. Yeah.
He uses
it was made
in
specifically to combat that enemy based on what the enemy did.
I think it would be more. It's probably based on. It would probably be now based to combat water enemies or aquatic enemies.
It's not based on anything. Well, rather, correction. What it's based on, what they say at the end of episode 3 is that they took that data from the Daybreak incident. Hidden does not own those keys. They stole them from the Daybreak incident. Whoever made the rider system is clearly someone who works with the government and AIMS, because they have those keys rightfully. Hidden stole them, and so what Isu is saying, like, Isu's just like, hey, which one do we need right now? And then it sends down the data to create it. And I don't even think that's really much of a theory, because that's just what they say at the end of the third episode. Is Hidden has the keys from the lost keys from the Daybreak incident.
Yeah. And the Progrise keys are pirated?
Yes.
I do have a theory on that, because because at the end of this episode, the big thing, it's revealed that Fua is working for someone. Yua, there we go. Sorry. And obviously, I think I said this on Discord and everything. I think this person is the announced rider from the scans,
Bowser.
Because he's very much in a CEO office similar to Aruto's. He's wearing the colors of Thouser. He kind of has a bracelet on. I very much think it's Thouser. I don't know what they're doing or what they really want. I think that's who it is. It may very well be.
What he could be is that Thouser is...
it's a dumb name, I agree.
Yeah.
It also might not actually be Thouser, it might just be someone who works for the company, but I think
I'm hoping the name isn't Thouser.
Because the guy kind of looked on the older side, and let's be honest here, they're gonna want a young actor, because we all know they need some eye candy.
Well, I mean, there have been some older writers, but not in recent years.
He could get killed off in the new.
There have been some older writers, definitely not in recent years. But if they have an older writer, I think I'd like that.
I think it could very well end up being this guy is killed off. He's the current CEO. The next CEO, very much like Aruto, will be a younger guy.
Maybe he holds it against Hidden Intelligence.
Maybe. I think no matter what, I think this is very much because they said. Zaya, I think, is the company's name.
Yeah, Zaya Corporation.
I think that whatever they're doing, they're trying to overtake Hidden, because they said Zaya is the competitor, the biggest competitor.
Zaya could be the people who made the rider system.
It could be.
That's what that's why I think she goes to him and says they have the keys, because they're not Hidden's technology, they're Zaya's.
I mean, his jingle says at the end, presented by Zaya. So I feel like they kind of would have that ego to say, this is our rider system, it is presented by us.
And so...
Well, here's the thing with that. It's called... Why would they specifically call these things, like, by the companies who made them? Because that's an interesting point, because notice that we have the AIMS Shot Riser, the Hiden 01 driver, and the Zaya 1000 driver.
what I'm saying is Ames didn't make that rider system. They bought them from Zaya. Ames is just a tactical squad that assumedly is under like the police force or the.
And they
JDF.
probably work with. They're probably given the technology by Zaya. But
Yeah. And
that's
so,
what I think.
I'm
Because I
excited
think
to know. Simple as that.
Yua says she's not technically police. She's a consultant.
Okay,
Yeah.
Zaya Enterprise is the name.
So if she is the consultant from Zaya to the Ames team, then she wants the data for Zaya, so they know what's going on, so that they can reveal it and get him shut down or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I could see it.
Yeah,
I don't think Thouser is going to be as evil.
even
They seem
though
to be implying in scans.
the other thing is, even though they are based on the same rider system, the drastic difference between how 01 looks and how Valkyrie and Vulcan and the two evil riders look is you can see underneath 01's face mask every time he puts on another suit or the grasshopper is coming onto him. What that face mask is looks a whole lot like the Humagears, like what's underneath the Humagear spray painted on faces. So it's literally a bootleg version of that rider system.
There's a bit of resemblance, but I don't see it too much.
I think.
No, but yeah, I see that.
Anything else about episode 3?
Just the thing about Zaya, I'm getting that theory.
Yeah.
I don't think Thouser. I think Thouser's probably gonna have an ego. Like, just look at that fucking jingle. He's gonna have an ego.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna be evil.
Characters, they're pretty fun.
Yeah, I think they might end up going the case of. I think they might end up going the case of maybe making Hedon a little bit more of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Well, they are the bad guys. But we'll get into that in theory crafting. But the other thing I wanted to say about episode 3 is I really like the fact that they are not beating around the bush of, aside from Aruto, they're like, Humagear do not have hearts. They are just computers. Like, it is weird and ridiculous to think that they could be people.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes the Aruto as a robot thing even more real, because he is a Humagear who thinks he has a heart and thinks other ones can have hearts.
So, I do want
Well, that
to
would
talk
require
about...
him to know he's a Humagear, wouldn't it?
Episode 4 was
Hold on.
a bigger episode.
Hold on. It wouldn't have to require him to be a human.
No, it would require him to have. It would require him to think he is a Humagear.
Not necessarily. He would just have to think Humagear can have hearts, which is the whole point of his quote-unquote father saving him. His Humagear
I think that could
father.
I think that could also factor in that he was clearly raised by a human.
I don't think he was raised at all.
I mean,
I don't think.
I'm going on the theory that he is human, because I think that's gonna. In my opinion,
these are
I think
theories
it's gonna
that'll be answered later on. Is my thinking.
I just find the plot twist that the main character was a robot all along to be just extremely cliche.
I think they're gonna try to fool us into thinking that, and then I think it's just gonna be
that's the main reason I don't want to believe it, because it's so cliche.
It's also Riders, so
that's fair. No, I think if I'm going by the human theory, I think he just learned that from being raised by a Humagear father. Because I think there probably was.
Yeah,
I think maybe his
thinks
father
they
died.
Have hearts because his father sacrificed him when really he was just doing his job.
I think maybe his father died young, so they made a Humagear version of him.
Maybe.
So
or maybe his father was just away or something.
Because obviously, when
perhaps he was working overseas with other.
You have to keep in mind that none of the people at Hidden Intelligence knew that the original president even had a grandson.
That's fair.
AKA, he was built at age 18 and was implanted with memories of a false past that included one where a Humagear father figure
But again,
saved him so that he would. This is my theory again, but
I just really don't want to believe this because it sounds so cliche.
What if they do it well? It's fine.
False memories. Like, how many times have you seen that in fiction?
The only thing I'm gonna say is, we'll just have to watch and see, and that's what I think is gonna be the most fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, recently, like, Kamen Rider has had some cliches, but recently they've kind of been going away with them. And I really don't think they're gonna put back those cliches in this season, because from what little we've seen of this season's trying very hard to be its own thing, to be very drastically different from what has preceded it, while also simultaneously looking back on what has preceded it.
That's fair.
Alright, can we cover episode 4? Because there's some things I really want to say about episode 4.
Then go ahead.
Episode 4. It starts. It's another big episode. Yay.
Ruby, go ahead.
I really like that we get background into Daybreak Town here. The thing that stuck out to me the most was the rocket with the satellite. Because that leads me to believe either that's the satellite that was put up in the sky, or that's the one that's sunken down below. If it's the one sunken down below, then we have another question of why was it sabotaged? Was that part of Daybreak?
I think no matter what, I think that is the arc, the one sunk below. That's the arc that is mentioned by Hirobi in the end of the episode.
Which was also mentioned at episode 3. My question is that rocket with the satellite we saw the one that's up in the sky, or is it the one in the water?
I think it's the one in the water.
And then the question becomes, why would they go to the lengths of sinking that? Unless it was to plan for something else.
I don't think... No, I think it was the launch failed somehow, and that's why it's underwater. Like,
then it ties into, is that Daybreak?
I think Daybreak... I think it was part of Daybreak. I think all of the explosions and all the Humagear going crazy also was part of, like, the launch failed and it plummeted into the water.
So, I'm curious on, was this, like, their blow, or was this setting up for something else to come later? If that's all the case. The other thing that I really like here is the interaction between Naruto and Fuwa.
I did too.
Because how Fuwa acts in this episode, originally he was criticizing 01 for simply existing, but in this one he shows a little bit of a softer side.
I think this is the kind of the first episode I liked
for
him.
Me, I'll just
because
say sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say this interaction reminds me of Nago realizing that Kiva is Wataru and saying, I entrust you with this power. I believe you can hold this.
I've said it before, I think Fuwa is very much Nago inspired, but I was gonna say I think I haven't liked him over the first 3 episodes because he's just always been in fight mode and kind of a dick mode,
kind of like Gates.
So this is kind of like the first time we see a softer side and a non in a fight. So I liked him a little bit more. I would like to see him off duty soonish, so we can maybe get into a more personal life of his. Hopefully they don't
off duty in this episode. He says so.
I love his actor.
Hopefully they don't introduce a girlfriend.
The entire 01 cast is great.
Because she'll probably fucking die.
His girlfriend is Valkyrie in the end.
I actually don't ship them. I don't.
Yeah, no, they're just
They're polar
They're
opposites.
partners.
They
it.
might become like bros, but I don't think they'll get together. I think if Valkyrie's gonna end up being shipped with anyone, it'll probably be Thouser. Honestly,
I ship Aruto and Finding a Sense of Humor. Aruto is as funny as the Toku community.
We haven't mentioned shout out to Fuwa being the only one who likes his fucking jokes.
Yeah, I was about to say during episode 2, something I didn't mention on my initial watch of it was just his reactions to Aruto's.
Yeah, I do love them.
Naito.
Also, I like how in the episode we see more of Yua's subtle manipulations by giving him Punching Kong and just being like, "This is really powerful. Let's see if you're good enough, bitch." So I think she is subtly manipulating everyone.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be very fun when.
As part of the LGBTQ,
I think it's probably going to be like Izu who calls her out on it.
As part of the LGBT community, I can tell you that we stand our queen Valkyrie.
As part of the straight community, I could and Valkyrie as best girl.
Valkyrie is best girl. Shut up.
We all stand Valkyrie.
I know everyone likes
we all
Izu,
stand Valkyrie.
Yeah, no, Valkyrie's so much better than Izu.
We all stand Valkyrie here because otherwise Cannon will kill us. I mean, what?
True.
Another thing I really liked about this episode is the bus guide. It's really interesting to see the Humagears may or may not be able to resist what happens.
Yeah, but then there's also the question. I think someone asked this question, but I kind of rebuke it because like someone's like, why didn't Izu get taken over? That's a valid question for episode 3, but episode 4 she wasn't there.
Yeah, she was on the shore
like,
still.
Yeah, so like the wires
I think
weren't
she
there
will be
to try.
taken over at some point
I'm
because there is a shot in the opening where we see her in the rain with red eyes and the screen is glitching out. I wouldn't be
shocked if she ends up working for. I don't even want to fucking attempt to say.
Call me crazy. Call me crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think that shot has something to do with Daybreak.
I think it would be very easy for them to kind of send. Harui's been shown to be a good hacker. It would be very easy to send her in and just being like, "This is the CEO secretary. Oh, there's a new CEO." That's because there's been some menacing shots of her in the fucking show.
I think I can't remember his name.
And at some point, I think she's going to become. What's the term they use for it when
Magia?
Singularity.
Magia.
The singularity?
Magia?
The monster of the week? Yeah.
No. I'm not saying she's gonna become a Magia. The term Rubi uses to describe Humagear who's ready to become a Magia.
I don't know, man.
The thing was singularity.
I think she's going to become a singularity because, again, referring to the opening, not only is there the shot of her with the glitchy screen, there's also a close-up shot of her left cheek and a tear going down it.
We'll see. I'm excited.
I think she could just be working with, because I think no one acknowledges her having worked with the previous CEO, and no one has said she was. And she hasn't really talked about him, so I could very well see it as the CEO dies, so they see their chance to send someone in claiming to be the new CEO's new secretary.
She was in his office.
I mean, they could have just sent her in at that point. Could have had her come in and be like, "Hi, I'm the person who has his will," and blah blah blah. Like, I don't know. I could very well see her just being a mole for them because
I do think that the MetsuboJirai.net leader, if I had to take a hard guess, he's the guy who created the Humagear. And he got gypped out of it
I don't
by-
think he's a human gear.
He don't. I don't think he is a human gear.
I don't think either of them are. Neither, because Jin shows too much fucking emotion.
Yeah, I
to
think
be a human gear.
I think he he made up the program for what the human gear
agree.
became.
Here's what I think. I think there are people who want to augment themselves.
And
Probably.
I think, okay, perhaps they want to use this advanced technology and like augment themselves with the human gears, become gods.
There's one thing that
like, I'll be honest, I read a lot of dystopian shit, and a common theme in a lot of them is this idea of augmenting yourself with these technological implants to
basically
sort of free yourself or become more like a god. I think that might be the motive of Metsubo Shinrai Net.
That's basically what... I don't know, because they've already have access to at least one belt, so it's very unclear, but I think one thing that I wanted to say, because episode 4, they do have that footage of Hirobi seemingly from 12 years ago.
Yeah. I think they want to become Cyber God.
He doesn't look that old, so I'm thinking that's doctored. I think that whole thing, and contribute to Kaz's theory.
Yep.
I think that's also made up. I think that's recent footage, because also my question is, why did it take them 12 years to start acting again? So I think it's more recent footage, and they're playing with Aruto as well. They
those are my
factory to be exposed like that. They wanted all that out there.
Yeah, so
they wanted the clout. 3
theories.
Well,
Izu has something to do with Daybreak. She's going to become a singularity, and that Horobi and Jin basically want to become a cyborg god.
My only thing about the thing is that, because it would mean more if she became a singularity if they don't come back, but it showed from the security guy, or what was his name?
Well, they just built a new one.
Yeah, they can build them with the exact same like memories and everything. I think Yua also says they can come back.
Episode 3.
So I think there's no risk to do that to Izu, so that's the only reason I don't think she will get hacked or anything.
I'm not saying she'll get hacked. I think she's going to become a singularity, but she probably won't be hacked.
No, I just don't. There's not enough like risk in it, because they can very clearly bring them all back.
Build a new one.
Except maybe Anne, because Anne kind of got taken, I think, by Hirobi. I don't know what the fuck Hirobi did, because we do see Hirobi in his, which again, Hirobi already has his rider form.
Yeah.
So
they have several keys.
They're not. Jin might not. Jin might.
I've seen some people say, "Oh, there's going to be 2 Flying Falcon keys." I've seen others saying he's going to steal it from Aruto.
I mean, they've shown that they could just probably remake it, so I think he'll probably just steal the original one, and then they'll just so they can keep using the suit. But I think we might get maybe an air battle between the two, because obviously
that could be cool.
Fly. But yeah, I think Jin. If I had to guess, Jin probably was also involved. Maybe because wasn't Fua shown to be in a classroom?
Yeah, I have no doubt that Metsubo Shinrai had something to do with Daybreak.
Maybe I don't think Metsubo Shinrai was around yet.
Yeah, I don't think they did anything. I think they made that footage to base like the way that.
Because they knew what Aruto would do with it.
Terrorist organizations take claim to stuff. They make videos claiming stuff. And they could have easily just made that footage up, like just put it over existing footage and said, yep, this was us. Fear us.
Yeah.
We're the real problem.
I think Hirobi and Jin's, I'm going to guess they're... Because they were shown to be a school there. I think maybe Jin was a classmate of Fua's. I don't think Fua has seen Jin yet.
No, not yet.
So I could very well say
Orobi, but then just came up with
no, I was gonna say maybe Fuwa, when he sees Jin, might recognize Jin. I'm gonna guess Jin was probably a member of his class. Hirobi to contribute to the science thing. Maybe it was a science prodigy or something. So he was a little bit older. Maybe he saved Jin, and the two were just angry. And instead of going like Fuwa or Aruto deciding to help the world, they decided the world needed to go down for this event. It would be very much a mirror image, like what they seem to be doing of foils. Two people decided to help the world. Two people decided to destroy it because of this event.
To me, they don't seem like they want to destroy the world. They definitely have a goal that benefits themselves.
Have you not heard them say like 50 times, "This is the day humanity's gonna stick"? They very much want to fuck over the world and humanity. So that's just my theory. I think they were another two victims of. Maybe Hirobi got blamed for Daybreak Town. I think it was just two victims of it. And Jin, I don't want to say he cares about Hirobi, but he clearly follows Hirobi for a reason.
Yeah, I think we just don't have enough pieces of the puzzle yet.
No, it's very much 4 episodes, and this is just my early guessing.
Like, this is a 120-piece jigsaw puzzle, and we only have, 4 pieces.
Yeah, it's just my guess. I don't think they're. Everyone's saying they're going to be human gear. I don't think they are.
I don't think they are either.
I think they're another two victims of Daybreak Town because everyone seems to be connected to this fucking event.
Yeah, it's basically like the fight at Heightened View Terrace in Digimon.
Basically.
Sure. Whatever that.
Basically, in Digimon, when the characters were all very young, in a place called Heightened View Terrace where they all lived, they experienced a fight between two Digimon, and their observing this fight made them all Digidestined.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm saying that it's similar to this, that all the characters in the show have some sort of connection to Daybreak.
Yes, Kaz, would you like to go into your theories?
Yeah. So, if you want, I'll try and keep it brief because we're brushing over an hour at this point. But if you want an in-depth version of my theory, go check out Squall Charleston's latest video.
It's really interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Basically, what it boils down to, though, is that 01 was created as a corporate cover-up mechanism for Hidden, and what Koronosuke did was his perfect Humagear was something he claims is his grandson, or convinced it was his grandson, and it perfectly mimics a human, and that the memories that his grandson has, that Aruto has, are false and implanted, and that the reason for doing so was he knew that he would die, and this would end up, that the whole Humagear situation with their flaw would end up becoming a real issue for the company. So when he dies, all he has to do is give the 01 driver to his grandson, who is a robot and would do pretty much anything, and just say, hey, it's to protect the people's smiles, which we have also established is the prime directive of the Humagear, is to make people smile. And that the reason for his father figure being a Humagear and protecting him in that flashback, even though it is a different color and a substantially smaller explosion than the one we see at Daybreak, is that it's to convince Aruto, who thinks he's a person, to believe that Humagear can have a heart, and thus when he becomes a CEO,
he thinks he's people. How adorable!
Right? When he becomes the CEO, he doesn't instantly go, "Oh, well, the Humagear can end up killing people. Okay, let's just call them all back." So he convinces Aruto that they can be good to ensure that the Humagear aren't pulled back, even though they're a massive danger.
I want to believe. I like the theory. I just don't want the cliche of him turning out to be a robot. That's the only thing that's preventing me from getting onto this, like, fully getting on board with this.
Like, if they do it well, they do it well. Like, cliches, whatever. If it's good, it's good. You know? And that's so fair. Far, they've been doing a good job, so I think they can pull it off.
Yeah. Again,
then again, this is the person who wrote X8, so...
That's my only thing, because... fight me, I don't think the twist... This supposed twist of Parado being Emu's Bugster and everything, that was, like, the big twist. I don't think that pulled off that well, so... I don't think this is... That's what worries me. This writer hasn't pulled off good twists.
That's fair.
None of the twists in X8, and I think X8 had several twists. Yeah, none of them really...
Yeah, but from the 4 episodes we've seen so far, there's already a decent amount of improvement over X8.
Yeah. That's why I'm giving faith to it. Because I don't like comparing it to X8, but so far the first 4 episodes are much better than X8.
I mean, yeah, it's the same writer. It makes sense to compare them.
I'll also say I think it's better than G. Because...
Then what? I'm sorry, you cut out for me.
Than Geo, because I think Geo, what they've given to us in the first 4 episodes, Geo tried giving us all in 1 episode.
Geo was hot ass.
I mean, yeah, but so I think it's a lot better.
Dan, we'll have a word with you now.
I have gone on blast several times about how horrible I think Geo is. I think the ending is the only good part. The ending and Overcourser are the only, not the movie, the song, are the only good parts of Geo.
That's fair.
For me, ZO was a bit of a roller coaster. It started out very mediocre. As the series progressed, I thought, okay, it's starting to gain some traction. And then ZO 2 happened, and
yeah, after ZO2, I kinda...
Then we got back to the downward slope, and then we got the new writers, and it was sort of a straight line there.
All of Geo's designs are horrible.
It's not...
It's
well, I like
Oma show. I do not... oh wait, no, Oma, never mind. I thought you meant Grand. Yeah, Oma's good, but that's about it.
The movie form. I like the movie form. The movie form is very...
I haven't seen that. I just like
Oma form is okay.
We're not talking about Geo.
Yeah.
No, so 0-1...
Does anyone have anything else to say about 0-1?
I'm very excited to see what they bring. I think there's a lot of possible theories right now. I don't think they're going to shy away from it. I think it's going to be an amazing ride up until... I think right now, until Thouser is introduced, I don't think we're going to get too many shocking reveals.
I think you say it's an amazing common ride?
Yes.
Tangling was
right there, Aruto.
I disagree with you, Kasuma. I personally really dislike the ending of ZO.
Talking ZO.
No, we can yell about that another time.
That was last
now
episode.
For this first 4 episodes, I'd give it a 9 out of 10, and so far my favorite character is Valkyrie, simply because...
Well, that's a given, Cannon.
I know, she's my wife, but...
Okay, well, hold on. If we're gonna... Let's say that, like, build is a 10 out of 10. I would put 0-1 at about, like, an 8.
I would give
But
Build
that's where I would put O's.
I would give Build a 9 out of 10, honestly.
Well, I'm thinking, like, purely, like, out of Kamen Rider, Build is, like, the top, and so it's like...
I would say so, yeah.
So, if that's our 10 out of 10, Like, I would say this is
was-
at about an 8, but I would also put O's at an 8, and O's is my favorite season. So, like,
Yeah, I love O's a lot.
it's so good.
So,
Like, yeah, Build is the next Gaim for a lot of people, myself included.
Oh, God, don't get me started on Gaim.
We'll do a whole episode on
Next-
Kaz's
Oh,
ranting
Next
on
episode
Gaim.
is just Steven Kaz screaming about Gaim for fucking an hour.
I mean, don't tempt me. No, I think the
we're-
next episode's gonna be me screaming about Ree's Soldier.
yeah. Because after 2
And I'm
Rider
gonna be
episodes, we need to
torturing him
do. After
with,
2 Rider episodes, we need
I'm
to
only
offset it.
200 years old
We
or
do.
something.
I don't know if we'll just talk about Ree's Soldier or we'll talk about Heisei Sentai.
So, hey,
I don't know.
Any last thoughts
those are
on
the two
01?
popular.
0-1,
Very
it's
good.
good.
I'm very hopeful to see. I'm very hopeful with where it's going right now. It seems to be going in a very good direction.
I think it is really good. I'm really excited to see where it goes as well. I think there's room for improvement for sure. I think Naruto being not funny is really not funny. And like him as a whole character, I wish could just be a little bit better because his whole thing is kind of cliched. But I like everything else about the show a whole lot, so it's fine.
my last thing is I'm just excited to see where it goes from here, and I'm enjoying the ride.
Agreed.
Because pretty much this is the first Rider series that I'm essentially following all the way through.
Would you say you're enjoying the common ride?
Yep.
Yes.
No, that's terrible.
I'm enjoying it so far. Because the only ones I've watched all the way through are Kiva, and that's pretty much it. Build
I'm so
and
proud.
Really?
Build and Geo
That
were
was
just
mostly because Cannon
Yeah.
pressured you into it.
well. Plus,
That's
I wanted to see it.
Not wrong.
Build and Geo, I only saw really clips. I haven't really seen full episodes of that. This
You
is
don't
my
need
first-
to see the entirety of ZO.
This is my
You
first
don't.
series that I am following all the way through, and I'm happy to be a part of it. So,
Okay.
I
Digi, any last thoughts or?
believe he said his.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So yeah, next time, probably in 2 weeks. I think we'll probably put out a Twitter poll, but it'll definitely be a Sentai episode. It'll either be just the Heisei era, probably from like 2000 onward, because I don't think I've seen any season from before 2000, or Ryu Soldier. So basically, you'll see me either be nice or rant about Ryu Soldier.
So,
And I have watched only Shinkenger, and I was bored.
I have watched
I know,
only
very
Gokaiger.
I have watched
Oh,
none.
that's true. I watched a little bit of Gokaiger.
So probably not a Heisei in general. Probably Ryu Soldier.
Fair.
So, in that case, thank you all for
I'd say we're
hanging
good.
out with us.
Yeah.
Yes, most of my
yeah,
tokusatsu experience comes from Kamen Rider.
Yeah, same here.
As we were actually nice, unlike last time. With
So-
Yeah, Kamen Rider and Power Rangers.
I will hopefully see all of you floating around. Would love to talk to you
Of
further
course.
about 01 in the future. Not you guys. You guys don't have a choice.
Oh.
I'm talking to
That's
chat.
Oh.
Chat,
Well,
I'll
we'll
see
probably-
you around, and I'll talk to them about 01 happily.
We'll probably
Y'all don't have a choice.
We'll probably repeat a 01 episode to do an update after the Christmas episode.
Wait,
I'll see.
hold
We're
on.
making an update after that
We'll
because
see.
it's the X-Aid Rider.
I need-
Something's gonna happen.
I need everybody to comment on this before we finish, though.
No.
Something's
hold
gonna
on.
happen
Fuck.
to ruin our Christmas.
This just got posted in Squall server, and hot anime girl O's. What are
Nobody
thoughts?
else can see it,
Where's
so
that?
that'll
I
be
just put it
something
in
we
podcast
address
on.
somewhere else. So,
Oh, it's so good.
thank
though.
you all for
I
tuning
mean,
in.
I sent
Alright.
you the